Welcome into the first Fall 2021 episode of VU Sports Wired, Vanderbilt Video Productions' premier sports talk show. My name is Bobby Kent, and I will be taking over as host of VU Sports Wired for the 2021-2022 school year from Justin Hershey. Justin will still be on as a panelist as our show progresses, but today I am joined by Andrew Wilf, assistant sports editor for the Vanderbilt Hustler. We will talk about Vanderbilt men's basketball, preview its upcoming matchup with the SMU on Saturday, as well as discuss women's basketball, recap the Paradise Jam tournament, and talk about the season so far. If there's time, we will touch on the recent Vandy United renderings. Vanderbilt men's basketball is 5-1 on the young season and currently on a 3-game winning streak with wins over Winthrop, Pittsburgh, and Mississippi Valley State. Vanderbilt won handily on Monday night against Mississippi Valley State, winning by 39, 75-36. Miles Studi contributed 20 points on 6 threes in the effort, and Vanderbilt held Mississippi Valley State to 20% shooting from the field. Vanderbilt is currently ranked 65th in Ken Pomeroy's rankings, the highest of Terry Stackhouse's tenure. So Andrew, since the disastrous performance against VCU November 17th, when Vandy shot only 22% from the field and only made 2 threes, the Commodores have responded, shooting 43% from the field and making 11 threes in the last game against Mississippi Valley State. What have you seen from Vanderbilt over this stretch?
Absolutely. So Vanderbilt comes into the season, has very easy wins over Alabama State and Texas State. And then Virginia Commonwealth marches in and implements a 3-2 zone and a half-court trap defense, and Vanderbilt just couldn't get a flow. Like you just said, what happened? What has changed? And the difference now is Vanderbilt's making their three-pointers, opposed to being 8% from the field. You're 30 or 40% from the field. And then that goes into there's going to be more open shots. There's going to be more people crowding the paint. And that's what's really been helping Vanderbilt. And what I've seen is a huge improvement from Miles Studi in his sophomore year, a huge improvement from Trey Thomas, and a great play from Scottie Pippen and Jordan Wright. And if Vanderbilt continues this, as Robbins will come back in a few weeks, maybe a few months, Vanderbilt is a team that will be scary in the SEC, a team that they didn't think would be scary so many years ago, but now there's a sense of camaraderie, and a lot of the students are going to games, and there's a serious home field advantage.
Oh, definitely. And this team has also been really good at defense too. Right now, they rank 6th nationally in scoring defense, only allowing 55.2 points per game allowed, 10th in field goal percentage defense, about 35%, and 22nd in turnovers forced. They force about 18 a game, and 20th in fewest fouls. So this team is really, the whole defense is really just to make a pun, anchoring down.
They're very disciplined. They're playing with a sense of urgency. They're not allowing the easy shots, and that's really going to be important in the SEC, because SEC, there's such a small chance
differential between any team. You play against, we've seen against Kentucky in years past, that 1 or 2 plays can make the difference between winning or losing, no matter who you are in the standings. And another thing that Justin actually pointed out on Twitter I saw today was he said that Vanderbilt is 3rd in the country in turnovers not forced by steals. So they're really getting active defensively, and they're really clogging up passing lanes, making things happen. So this has been a really exciting stretch for them. We hope they can keep it going. And next up is the Smu Mustangs on Saturday, December 4th at 5 p.m. on ESPN+. SMU was an NIT qualifier last season, so this will be a really good test for the Doors. Vanderbilt is looking for its first 6-1 start since 2015, and Vanderbilt actually last played SMU 2 years ago in a 92-81 overtime loss. Scottie Pippen Jr. had 15 in that game. So this kind of game with Robbins out, this would be kind of a similar game to that in a way. What does Vanderbilt have to do to put together a complete game of basketball and win on the road at SMU?
I believe you just said it. It's about starting really fast defensively, getting those charges, getting those steals. So you can't let the SMU fans get rowdy once Vanderbilt gets on a run. And also getting the ball in the paint, getting the ball to Melora Brown and Jordan Wright, getting the ball there can really help Vanderbilt really pound SMU. And when we're thinking of what can happen for SMU to lose this game, I think it's this 2-3-3-2 zone that Vanderbilt's been playing. So it's the defensive side that I'll be looking forward to watching. And Scottie Pippen Jr., of course, if he continues to do what he's doing at the helm, Vanderbilt will be just fine.
Definitely, and Scottie is averaging 14.8 points per game. I'm also looking to see the continued development of Tyron Lawrence coming back off the ACL from last year. He is scoring 8.2 points per game, shooting about 56% from the field. So he's really being efficient, along with Jordan Wright, who I think is not getting enough national attention right now with how he's doing. He has equally Scottie in points per game at 14.8. He's shooting 50% from the field. Vanderbilt is still looking to complete, 2 complete halves of play in terms of they start, like you said, they have to start off fast because they started off slow in a lot of games, especially against Pitt too. But then they turn it around in the second half. So I would love to see a complete performance, continued development from Tyron Lawrence, Miles Studi, Jordan Wright. See, a complete all-around performance would give me real confidence in this team going forward.
And another student athlete I'm excited to watch will be Trey Thomas. He's a three-point machine. I think he made 4 against Pitt. He had 14 points, I believe. Had a great reverse layup last game. That's what's really going to be exciting too. Having those good, solid players off the bench will be very important for Vanderbilt in the long run.
Definitely. And then switching over to the women's side, Vanderbilt women's basketball is 5-4 on the season and 3-2 in the last 5 games. Vanderbilt played in the Paradise Jam Invitational in the U.S. Virgin Islands over the past week and went 1-2, highlighted by a strong defensive win over Rutgers and a close to the brink loss against then number 9 Arizona. One thing is for sure, head coach Trey Ralph has this team headed in the right direction. So, Andrew, Vanderbilt also won against Chattanooga on Tuesday, 91-61. Andrew, you covered the game against Chattanooga on Tuesday. What did you see from this team in this performance, and what can they take away from it moving forward?
Similar to the men's basketball team, this women's team caused 15 turnovers in the first half. 8 in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter, and 23 overall. When you have that, and I think it was 22 points off of turnovers, that's where you're going to win ball games. And Trey Ralph remains not satisfied. Said after this 30-point win, yes, I'm very happy with our team, but we should believe in ourselves and know we can do this every game. What happened in the Paradise Jam tournament, it was great to have that opportunity in the Virgin Islands, play 3 games, and have the team come together during the Thanksgiving holiday season. But when you play DePaul, what happened in the second half in that game, DePaul totally controlled and manhandled Vanderbilt to the extent where Vanderbilt couldn't come back. It was 91-74, and that's what Vanderbilt did to Chattanooga. You have to silence them by really never letting up. Also, what happened in the game against Chattanooga, freshman Damari Flournoy had 17 points, made a half-court buzzer beater at the end of the first half, and the team was very happy, but she said her mentality at halftime was, it's 0-0. And that's what Trey Ralph has found at UConn, at her success there, and that's what needs to happen at Vanderbilt. It's always 0-0, no matter how much you're winning. So you can never be satisfied and truly accomplish what you think you can at the highest level.
100%, and I mean I think that's what's going to make Trey Ralph a really good head coach at this level. Instilling that mindset in Vanderbilt, and I was read what Justin Hershey, our sports editor's takeaway about the Paradise Jam tournament as well, and he said that this Vanderbilt team, of years past would not have been able to go into a neutral setting like that and push an Arizona to the brink. And that really, I think is a testament to what Trey Ralph has done in the short period of time that she's been coaching this team. They're led by, they have some senior leadership. And Brene Alexander is a senior, averaging 11 points a game. Jordan Cambridge is a senior, averaging 10.7. She, actually was named to the all-tournament team for the Paradise Jam tournament. This team, they fight. They're scrappy defensively. They really made their identity on that, like you talked about. It's a very, exciting time for Vanderbilt women's basketball. And another question I have for you, Andrew, is do you believe this team will continue to have these ups and downs, where they kind of win a couple games, lose a couple games, or do you think they're going to sort of settle into a groove, more so as SEC play starts to begin, in 2022?
It's tough to not have up and downs at the beginning of the season when you had a season cut short last year due to COVID-19. I think this won't happen. Vanderbilt will have a winning percentage of what I'm going to predict around 650, which I think is very solid. And the reason I say that is because now there are student athletes coming off the bench that Shea Ralph really believes in, especially these freshmen. And that's where I see the ups and downs not happening as much. And there was just the team chemistry, it develops over time, so it's tough to predict. And that's why I see Vanderbilt really going only up from here.
Yeah, very exciting times on West End. And another very exciting time on West End is the Vandy United campaign, in which the administration is committing $300 million to the athletics in the biggest donation campaign to date, and was recently, they just released renderings of football and basketball upgrades. So I felt like we had to talk about this today, because this, to me, I saw these, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, there's a basketball operations center on the north end zone with this north end zone facility upgrades. The south end zone is going to get an upgrade. There's going to be a football operations center, and the expanded McGugin Center is going to expand by over 200%. There's going to be an indoor practice facility for football, which looks beautiful with all the glass and everything. I mean, which of these sort of things sort of catches your eye the most, or that you are most excited about?
The football. And the reason I say that is I was on 247 Sports today, a common website people look at to see high school recruiting classes. And Vanderbilt has the 36th best college football recruiting class. When was the last time that happened on West End? And I truly think that is correlated with the amount of money Vanderbilt is investing into their athletics. Vanderbilt just got a 3-star recruit quarterback from Texas, which is really amazing to see him develop after Ken and Mike leave. That will be really important. And then on the basketball end, that's going to be great for Stackhouse to develop this and maybe start something. Duke wasn't always the basketball powerhouse. It started with Coach K. Can Stackhouse be that guy? And it allows Vanderbilt students to dream. That's what's so exciting. It's the sense of investment and care that Vanderbilt really cares about the athletics. And it's only good. The baseball team's going to be getting better. The less revenue sports will be only up from here. There's really no negatives.
Oh, 100%. And I'm really excited, to come back to these games, especially, being a junior now, and then when I graduate, come back to these games and really be able to cheer on this team from a stadium that everyone looks at and is like, this is, state of the art, a really exciting time. I mean, it's a great to see this commitment, like you said, from the administration into athletics, because Vanderbilt really can be, this school that does both, that has a really good academics and athletics at the same time. It's possible, and I really like the example you gave with Duke there, and I think it just, to every recruit that sort of looks at, like, especially the Vanderbilt basketball program, says, wow, I can get coached by Jerry Stackhouse, who has all this experience in the NBA, and I could do it in these world-class facilities.
With a world-class education.
Exactly,
as well.
Yes. I mean, that's hard to pass up for anybody, know? So that's really, really exciting, and, exciting times overall on West End, and that'll do it for this week's, this edition, or the first edition of VU Sports Wire for the fall semester. For host Bobby Kent and my co-host Andrew Wilf, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.